see my private stuff?
Yeah, let me see. What do you got? What do you got?
This.
It's a duct tape
Yes.
wallet. Nice.
Did you bring that stuff down to me?
You have a dressing room makeup room for it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
The makeup specialist will be here in a moment.
No.
Rather than stuff.
No, it's all it
He's
is.
probably gonna slice it up and make it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think?
Close your eyes.
I know you
Yeah,
can't.
they tried to push him down also, and then they got under, tried to push him up.
Not one of
Do you want me to just run that tape based on a Steadicam?
A teacher is anybody who can tell you anything. Yeah, anything. But a mentor, to me, is what I wanted to be all the time. It's just, lots of give and take, not just about painting, not just about figure drawing, but bigger questions and larger fundamental kinds of things that get into it, so that I'd be not just imparting information.
And I never really thought about mentoring at all until these questions came up. When I was teaching or anything like that, I don't think I gave any thought a bit to what I was doing. I mean, that sounds kind of mindless, and I think it probably was, but still, it was just a more natural way to talk with the kids.
You gotta make people start to think for themselves, and that's the whole idea of teaching somebody art, I think, is to have them think for themselves, not think the way you think or think the way he thinks.
If the person who we initially were speaking to or about or around was speaking intelligently to begin with, then that would set something
People
off.
who weren't just looking for a teacher.
Yeah, they were coming back with some notions, That was often the way that would go. I would just try to coax somebody to tell me something about what they were thinking, because I wasn't going to tell them what to be thinking, and if they could just say it, and then that would help me.
Well, just that people, the thing I said before, which was the hugest challenge, people that would come in and sit there and want you to teach them something. Mm-hmm. That was the biggest challenge, and it would wind up making me really mad, because that's not why I'm there, and it's not why they're there. And if they're there because of that, they should be somewhere else.
I think you have to have students who want to hear something about what you say and something about what you are. So I think that people often say, well, I teach, I don't work, I don't do. But I think that in order to be something within a context of what you want, you have to show the professionality of the field. And I think, I think an artist who's teaching other artists has got to be an artist. He's got to be making stuff. And they have to know that he's making stuff. Maybe there's a risk here that he'll want to make stuff like you, but that won't last. And it doesn't happen all that often anyway. Most of the people are more individual. So the thing, you've got to show them that you're an artist.
It's the way they've been taught all their life. They've been spoon-fed. They've been told to do everything and how to do everything, and they really never had a chance to have to think on their own. I think once they're in college, that's absurd, and they shouldn't ever be at that point in college. But I found tons of kids who were, tons of them, and they shouldn't have been. I don't know why. I think our whole educational system is that way, which is too bad.
It's funny, you felt it was something they should be thinking about while they're doing this stuff. And I think, we're so far away from the academic approach to learning how to draw, and that's the basis of everything. And how to draw nowadays means something quite different than academically it used to be. So, and we don't dwell that much on that. We realize that there's a student here who doesn't have a good eye-hand coordination, but seems to have some incredible boldness about the delivery of something on this picture format or in this material. There's something powerful developing there. And then you have to recognize that. You can't say, well, you better make the nose bigger or something because it's out of proportion. That doesn't make that has no bearing on exactly what's going on there. And I think that's a big difference now for anybody in the arts to be thinking about
Julie, do you want to?
Sure. I was a producing artist who was a mature artist, and one of the more mature people that, in fact, we've kept in touch, we've kept in contact over the years, and that's one of the main reasons. And she is a professional, and she's not, I mean, at a community college, you get a lot of different levels of work, but she has maintained her professionalism, and her interest has grown and become more and more mature as she's gone on. And that has always just, I love that about her.
Repeat a lot of
She's always
stuff, but
interested.
I think Elaine has become an energy, well, not become, she was this.
She's always been
An energetic,
all of it.
fairly dynamic person about getting around and wanting to do things, wanting to show. She's been active this way since she was a student with me. So it was very easy for me to talk with her because she was such an active and inventive artist. I can remember going in and she just bought a whole bunch of drop cloths, painter's drop cloths, and they used to have all kinds of patterns on them. You know,
She loved those.
She loved those, and she was cutting them out and hanging them up and getting shadows on the canvases, and I mean, she was so quite inventive with all this stuff. So I thought right away, this is someone that I could get something from, and maybe we can exchange something too. And I still feel that way about her. She shows all the time. She works all the time.
Seemed to have looked at. Oh, that's how it feels.
Well, no,
But that's true, and then all of a sudden I'll see something like I had not seen it before. You're very good that way.
Well, but I mean, look at these pictures. There's no way I've done anything to these pictures for her in any way other than just be there to interact with, about them. And she's the same with me. She'll come in and I'll ask her what she thinks of this, and she'll tell me,
So you discuss the work and process.
Yes,
Oh, sure.
often.
I bear down on it real hard because I like to get good comments, so I try to say, is this pretty good? What do you think? Pretty good, huh?
Nothing.
And how do you approach Judd's work when he shows
It's
it?
always, it's always weird to me that he would even ask me, only because I think he's so much older than I.
Jesus, you were supposed to be sitting such a great.
Anyway, so I always think he always has pretty strong, clear ideas of where he's going, encompassing the whole thing. I will miss whole sections, like that bottom section I was talking about. I could just not even see that until somebody brings it up. I should do something about that. And you
I don't know what I'm trying not to say, but what I want to say is that her approach to art is, I envy it tremendously because she's totally open to whatever her idea is and whatever material she's screwing around with. And she's she's applying in a professional manner. And she's so inventive in that process. I'm always amazed in there because she's in there scrubbing. She'll be putting something down and rubbing it all around and it looks really crappy or something. And then she'll paint something over that and then maybe kind of wipe that down. And then she'll say, gosh, I really like it. She'll just discover something beside herself there and put that into and begin drawing stuff. And before long, it's just this conglomeration of wonderful stuff that would just be a mess. But it comes out being something very unique. I mean, she'll just pull it into something and it's made of stuff, a lot of things, and she can do that so easy. It's like it all's just coming right out, Now, I'm much more thoughtful, I think. I mean, I have a lot of those kind of moments, but I measure and do that a lot. She doesn't measure; she just got that internal drive. Really,
He won't let
expressive
me work in the
on.
same way.
Oh, are you kidding?
I'm such a kid.
Oh, well, she's a mess, I mean,
He's
I
got
go to her
this room
studio.
set up that I'm not allowed to be in.
Well, I had to have room to make drawings because my drawings are fairly clean, and I like to keep them that way, And
Oh, my
goodness, she's just in there throwing liquid all around and everything else. And well, you've all been in the studio, so you kind of know the difference in some ways. I mean, my studio isn't all that precious, but but still I have.
Well, the drawing studio
And the drawing
upstairs,
studio,
I
yeah,
don't think
definitely.
you've seen.
Well, see, I don't even draw in my studio where I make these things because it's too messy to keep things clean, you know.
It's like there was a painting I did years ago called This Man is Dying, and it was a painting of a man holding a hat on, and he's in like a storm. And it was just, you know, and that painting came together in like 2 hours. I never spent that little time on painting, but the whole time I was doing it, I was just doing it, and then I stopped. I went, whoa, that's done, you know. And that's what happened with this. It was just, oh, that's done. There's nothing more I can do to that. Hey, I like that, you know. And it's like all of a sudden you wake up and you've got something finished that you were almost not aware you were doing. It sounds so mystical.
And I think that nothing about what either one of us does has a conscious effort towards style. I think it's more involved in individual works that are expressive within a context of invention, in the context of formality, in the context of digging in, not trying to utilize a method that we've developed and tried to hone specifically forever.
I honestly don't even know what a style is, because you just do it, and if it comes out, sure, there are going to be certain movements you do that you do often, you know, because it's just the way you are, or color choices or shape choices that you choose just because you really like that stuff. But to consciously choose something in a certain style, I could never do it. Never could. Even when I couldn't do it in school. People who aren't primitive but come off like that, like Kiki Smith, I think is cool. I like somebody like Sean Scully, who's very structured and like that. And I also a million people, a lot of unschooled people. I find, oh God, they're the best because they're so focused. They don't care what anybody thinks about what they're doing. They're just making stuff. And if I get to that level ever, and I've got too much education, it's almost like you know too much. You can't get there, but you can, and I don't mean pretend to get there. I mean like really have like a few moments in time, or have been a few moments in time where it just happened. These things just appeared, and they were right. They were really, and they weren't perfect. They weren't, you know, elegant. They were just right. They're just so right, and that's so hard to teach that, you know, that's the hard thing, and some kids absolutely know it, and those are the ones you just get sucked into, you know, because they're the ones who know it, so then you can have an exchange with them. It's cool.
I like all that kind of thing too, and I think it varies so much over the years. I've been just, you know, and when I was teaching, I felt that I had to have a certain knowledge of much art, and that's a lot of what come up in my teaching efforts. I'd be able to cite so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, so I'd been looking at all these people, reading about them and all that kind of thing, and always did that, you know. In fact, it's only in the last year that I don't take Art in America anymore. You know, I used to just read them all the time and watch what the newer things were going on and what have you. And I'm just drinking all this in, and I think a lot of that was because I was trying to deal with people and discuss that kind of thing. And, you know, when somebody would say, what about, I know something about that, you know, and this was all important. I think it came through me as a kind of artist. And I think what I'm doing in some of the work here
It's here, then here.
Okay.
You know, we'll only have like 6 inches.
So what are you thinking about like that?
Well, let me just, I want to just do the math here.
I'm going to sit on, you sit right on top of it.